Hello students, get ready for today's economics class. Today we will start with the last part of the chapter number 1 of introductory microeconomics. Look at this mind map. So we have already discussed about the definition of economics, central problems of an economy, that is what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce, production possibility frontier, and organization of economic activities, that is mixed economy, centrally planned economy and free economy. Now today we will start with the last two topics, that is characteristics of positive and normative economics and characteristics of micro and macroeconomics. First, let's start with the positive and normative economics. So like in the previous videos already we have discussed about the central problems of an economy, that is what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. So there are different mechanisms which are giving solutions to these problems, like the distribution of final goods and services and allocation of resources. So in economics we try to analyze these different mechanisms and try to evaluate which mechanism will bring better outcome. So there are two ways. One is positive and normative economics. So what is positive and normative economics? Positive economics is related with what is, what was and what will be. Like for example, what is a poverty ratio in the present time, or what was the unemployment rate in the past years, or what can be unemployment rate in the future years, or what can be inflation. Inflation means increase in prices. Inflation rate in the future years. So what was there? So we are having already facts with us. So what is means at the present time already we are having facts about that, and what will be. On the basis of past and present facts, we can do the guesswork that what can be the future condition. So like for example, we can have the cause and effect relationship. This can be done through one example, like when there is increase in price, so it will lead to decrease in demand. People often delay their purchases. So what is the cause? Increase in price. So what is the effect? Decrease in demand. And this can be proved. So whatsoever facts are given there, that can be proved because we are having record of that. It is descriptive. These facts and figures can be described, and there is not any value judgment. Like if you are saying China is a highly populated country in the world, or we can say near about 35% population in India is living below poverty line. So these conclusions are based on the facts and figures, and we can verify this through the facts and figures. So these don't involve any kind of value judgment. Now let's move to the normative economics. What is normative? It is related with the what ought to be and what should be. So we are not having facts and figures based on this. These are just based on the recommendations. Like if one person is saying there should be old age pension, so he is giving his suggestion to improve or to make the old people secure financially. So this involves value judgment. So here we are not having any facts and figures, or they are giving some suggestions to reduce the poverty and unemployment rate. So these things are included in the normative economics, and these are prescriptive, which cannot be described and which don't involve any kind of facts and figures. So this is a basic difference between normative and positive economics. Positive economics is based on facts and figures, but normative economics is just based on suggestions and recommendations. And positive economics can be verified, but normative economics cannot be verified. In positive economics, we studied about the cause and effect through facts and figures. And in normative, we are giving suggestions how to solve the problems. So, positive and normative economics are very much related to each other. So, the difference between them is not very sharp one. Now, next topic we will start with the micro and macroeconomics. That is the last topic of the chapter. So, let's start first with the meaning of micro and macro. Micro means small and macro means large. So the meaning of microeconomics and macroeconomics we will discuss through this example. Like look at this example. So here has been given the income of 4 people of the country. So let's take them A, B, C and D. Let's take the income of A is 1000, B is 2000, C is 3000 and D is 2000. So when we are taking the data or we are studying the income of individuals, that is coming in the microeconomics when we are studying the economy as a individual. Like individual's income of A 1000, B 2000, C 3000 and D 2000. But what is the total income of these 4 citizens? That is 8000. So when we are studying the economy as a whole, like national income, the income of all the citizens of the country, so that is known as macroeconomics. So like if we are studying any individual firm, individual workers, individual households, that is coming in the microeconomics. And when we are studying any economy as a whole, like national income, aggregate employment, total production, that is the subject matter of macroeconomics. In microeconomics, we study the individual behavior like individual market, like perfect competition, oligopoly, effect on price of a good. If there is decrease in supply, so what will be the effect on price of a good? Individual labor market, individual consumer behavior. Individual consumer behavior is like when there is increase in price, so consumer will decrease the demand of the good. So there will be decrease in the demand. Supply of good, if there is increase in the price of good, then the producer will try to supply more of that good. So here we will study the individual consumer and individual producer behavior. But in macroeconomics, we will study the economy as a whole, like whole economy, GDP, that is gross domestic product, the value of final goods and services produced in the country during a year. The next is inflation, increase in price level, that we will study of the economy as a whole. Then employment and unemployment. Aggregate demand means total demand and productive capacity of the economy. So what is the total productive capacity of the economy? So these are the differences between the micro and macroeconomics. When we are studying the individual behaviors, that is a subject matter of microeconomics. When we study the economy as a whole, that is a subject matter of macroeconomics. In microeconomy, we study the individual economic agents and how the price and quantities of goods and services are determined through the interaction of these individuals in the markets. But on the other hand, in macroeconomics, we study the economy as a whole, like total production, total increase in the price level, or total unemployment rate, or aggregate demand. So when we study the economy as a whole, that is in macroeconomics. So in macroeconomics, we also have some topics like what is the total level of output in the economy? How does the total output increased? As we know, there is increase in the population, so there will be need of more production. So the producers are employing more resources to increase the production, so that to fulfill the needs of the people. So next question rises here, are the resources of the economy, resources like labor, are fully employed? And what are the reasons behind the unemployment of resources? So what is the reason behind the inflation? So these are the topics covered under the macroeconomics. So microeconomics, we study the individual behaviors, and in macroeconomics, we study the economy as a whole. Students, I hope these two topics, positive and normative economics and microeconomics, are clear to you, and you will revise all the topics given in the 3 videos, and PDF of question answers of this chapter you will get in the last, and all the question answers you will note down on your notebook. Thank you.